Hello, my name is Dhiruvan Kavind. My student ID is K2530309. So, in this video presentation, I will discuss cloud deployment and service models together with some important security issues associated with cloud computing. Cloud computing has become an important part of modern information technology. Individuals and organizations now use cloud services to store information, run software, develop applications, and access computing interactions through the internet. In this presentation, I will cover 5 main areas. First, I will discuss the 3 main cloud service models. Second, I will explain the 4 main cloud deployment models. Third, I will discuss security issues associated with software as a service. Fourth, I will explain authentication and authorization issues in SaaS. Finally, I will identify and discuss major security issues in infrastructures as a service. So in slide 2, I am going to present the structure of my discussion. The first topic is cloud service model, which includes software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. These are commonly called SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. The second topic is cloud deployment models. These include public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and community cloud. The third topic examines general security issues in SaaS, particularly issues involving data security, network security, data location integrity, segregation, and access. The fourth topic focuses especially on authentication and authorization. The final topic examines security issues in IaaS, including virtualizations, risk, physical infrastructure, security, disaster recovery, and data transmission. The central idea in this presentation is that cloud computing provides flexibility and convenience, but the level of control and security responsibility changes depending on the cloud model being used. So slide 3 describes type computing capability that cloud provider offers to customer. The 3 main service models are SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Software as a service or SaaS providers use with a complete application that is ready to use. The customer does not normally install or maintain the software. Instead, the customer accesses the application through a web browser, mobile application, or another online interface. Platform as a service or PaaS provides an environment in which developers can build, test, deploy, and manage applications. The cloud provider manages the underlying servers, operating system, storage, and platform tools. The customer mainly focuses on the application and its data. Infrastructure as a service or IaaS provides fundamental computing resources such as virtual machine, processing power, networks, and storage. In this model, the customer has great control over operating systems, application storage, and some network configurations. A simple way to remember this model is with SaaS, we use the software. With PaaS, we build and deploy application. With IaaS, we run computing infrastructure. The main difference among these models is the division of control and management between the cloud provider and the customer. So slide 4. Software as a service provides complete cloud-based application to the customer. Users normally access the application through browser or dedicated application. Common examples include Google Workspace application, Salesforce, Microsoft 360, and Dropbox. The main advantage of SaaS is convenience. Customers do not need to purchase and maintain their own physical servers. They also do not need to manually install every software update individual computers. The provider usually manages application updates, security patches, system availability, storage, and the underlying infrastructure. However, the customer has limited control over the system. The customer may be able to adjust user preferences, permissions, and certain application settings, but then generally cannot control servers, operating systems, or core application structures. For example, an organization using an online customer relationship management system can create user accounts, enter customer information, and generate reports. However, the organization cannot directly manage the physical server on which the application is running because the arrangement SaaS customer depend heavily on the provider for availability, data protection, application security, and separation of customer information. Slide 5. Platform as a Service provides a cloud environment for application development and deployment. In a PaaS model, developers can create and upload applications using programming languages, databases, libraries, and development tools supported by the provider. Examples include Google App Engine, AWS Elastic Basics, Microsoft Azure Application Services, Salesforce First.com. the provider the provider manages the physical infrastructure, servers, operating systems, storage, and core platform. The customer controls the application code, application data, and some configuration settings. PaaS allows developers to focus on building applications rather than maintaining servers. However, developers must still ensure that their application code is secure. A vulnerable application can still be attacked even when the underlying platform is properly protected. Infrastructure as a service provides the customer with virtualized computing resources. These resources can include virtual servers, storage systems, networking compartments, and processing capacity. Examples include Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Infrastructure Service. The cloud provider manages the physical data center, hardware, and virtualization platform. However, the customer normally manages the operation system, installed software, application, data security updates, user accounts, and some network controls. Therefore, IaaS gives customers greater flexibility and control, but it also gives them greater security and responsibility. For example, if an organization creates a virtual server but fails to update the operation system, configure the firewall correctly, the server may become vulnerable. The cloud provider may protect the physical infrastructure, but the customer is still responsible for protecting the system installed within that infrastructure. So in slide 6, cloud deployment model describes who can access the cloud infrastructure, who owns it, and how it is operated. The first model is public cloud. A public cloud available for the use by many customers, a member of general public. The infrastructure is normally owned and managed by a cloud service provider. Customers, they share provider physical infrastructure, although their system and data should remain logically separated. Public cloud are popular because they are scalable, flexible, and usually do not require a large initial investment. However, customers have less direct control over the underlying infrastructure. The second model is private cloud. Private cloud is used exclusively by one organization. It may be located within the organization or premises or hosted by external provider. Private clouds can provide greater control, customization, and privacy. They are often suitable organizations that handle sensitive information or have strict legal and compliance requirements. However, private clouds may be more expensive to develop and maintain. The third model is hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud combines two or more separate cloud environments, such as private cloud and public cloud. These environments remain distinct, but technologies are used to be enable data application to move between them. For example, an organization may store sensitive customer information in a private cloud while using the public cloud or generally application with the additional processing capacity. Hybrid clouds can also support cloud bursting. Cloud bursting occurs when an organization temporarily moves additional workloads to the public cloud because its private infrastructure has reached its capacity. The fourth model is the community cloud. The community cloud is shared by several organizations that have similar objectives, security needs, policies, and legal requirements. For example, a group government departments, healthcare providers, universities, a research institution may use a shared community cloud. The organizations may have similar requirements relating to confidentiality, compliances, and information sharing. Therefore, public, private, hybrid, and community clouds offers mainly in ownership, access control, cost, and security requirements. So in the slide 7, I am talking about SaaS. So, SaaS offers convenience but also creates several security concerns because customers depend heavily to service provider. The first issue is data security. In SaaS model, organization information usually is stored outside in own physical premises. The SaaS provider must protect this information against instruction attackers and disclosure system vulnerabilities and employees. So in slide 8, I am talking about authentication and authorization are two related but different security processes. Authentication is the process of verifying user identity. In simple terms, authentication answers the question, is this user really who they claim to be? So for example, in a cloud-based university system, both the student and lecturer may successfully log in. However, the premises should be different. A student may be allowed to view learning materials and submit assignments, while a lecturer may be allowed to upload material and enter grades. So in slide 9, I'm talking about security issues in IaaS. IaaS provide customers with significant technical control but also create important infrastructure level security risks. The first issue is virtualization security. IaaS platform commonly use virtual machines, a software layer known as a hypervisor visualization manager allows multiple virtual machines to operate the same physical hardware. In the hypervisor contains serious vulnerability. An attacker may attempt to affect multiple virtual machines. Strong isolation is therefore required to prevent one virtual machine from accessing another customer resource. So in slide 10, I have talked about how we share the responsibility. Thank you so much. My name is Dilwan Kahinda.